The only thing I like about Zach Wilson is that Jordan headband.
Oh, man.
That's the only thing I like I said Russell Wilson. About Zach Wilson is that damn headband. That headband tough.
These damn Wilsons, man.
All right, here we go. So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Oh, what a shot from Curry. That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
Welcome to the Shred the Spread podcast, your home for all of your NFL sports betting needs. I'm your host, Jared, and joining me for week 3 preview of the NFL slate is my man, my right-hand man, Dynell. What's going on, man?
What's good, everybody? Shred the Spread family. What is going on? I'm definitely excited to get back to week 3. Week 3 after an exciting, brutal, grinded out week 2 that we just put on. A hell of a performance we put on the bro. So congratulations to me and you, bro. We earned that. We definitely dug in that slate really well last week. And I'm ready to dig into these week 3 slates, man. I want another week like that, man. We need another big week.
The best thing we can do is celebrate the last week, but then totally forget about it, because now that means nothing to us. We've got to move on. We've got to dig into this new slate, because this is a season-long contest, and we fall behind 1 week. We lose our footing for 1 week. It's going to be hard to climb up this mountain. So, we're off to a good start. 7 out of 10 picks correct, but we do what we do best. We make picks. We've got 5 picks to make. So let's get right into it. The first game we're going to cover is the Indianapolis Colts going to Baltimore. Colts are 7.5 road underdogs. And there isn't much that I can say at this point in time, just because it does look like Anthony Richardson is going to be out for this game. They don't know if it's going to be enough time for this concussion protocol, so they are expecting Gardner Minshew to start. If that's the case, I want no parts of this game on either side. After seeing how Gardner Minshew came in, he moved the ball a little bit. He wasn't doing too bad, but the one thing that I really cannot forgive him is when we had the Colts in week 1, he got the ball like first and goal or second and goal on the 2-yard line, and he didn't get any points. So against the Ravens, if you get to the red zone, you have to score touchdowns, because that team is so dynamic, and it makes me a little bit nervous. So I don't think I want parts in this game until we get confirmation whether or not Anthony Richardson is out. How do you feel?
No, I feel the exact same way. Anthony Richardson is a big piece. That running threat is definitely a component that definitely helps this Colts offense. Gardner Minshew is a standout quarterback. The Ravens will bring pressure. The Ravens defense is still one of the top defenses in the league. And I don't think there's really much to talk about. You need to wait and see what's going on.
Yeah, they definitely looked really good against the Bengals last week, although I do think Joe Burrow is not himself right now. I think that injury is lingering. Maybe they rushed him back a little bit too soon. Who knows? We'll get to that a little bit later. Let's move on to the Broncos playing the Dolphins. Dolphins at home, 6.5 home favorites. I mean, why is this 6.5?
Bro, thank you.
Why is this 6.5?
Oh my goodness. I mean,
I know Tua's a MVP candidate. He's a favorite for MVP candidate in a lot of books. But let me just say this. You know who has better numbers than Tua this year?
Nah, enlighten me.
Baker Mayfield.
Ooh, Baker's doesn't.
But Baker obviously isn't an MVP candidate, but he's got better numbers. And I know that sounds crazy looking at the competition they face and stuff. But 6.5, Dynell, come on now. I mean, if we had to make a pick today, I think the Broncos would definitely most likely be in the contest if we had to pick today. I think the number's just a little bit off. And I really think Sean Payton said it best. He said the team's playing sloppy, a lot of self-inflicted penalties. I don't see them coming out so shitty in this third game. And Russ actually didn't look bad in the first half against the Commanders last week. He looked capable, and that's hope.
Oh, yeah. A whole lot of hope. I mean, like I said, the man had 3 touchdown passes in the first half. Shit, when's the last time we seen that?
And, when he was in Seattle, maybe.
Yeah, right. Last time we said that was in Seattle. And like I said, the most encouraging spot about that is them deep balls are landing. One thing about Russell Wilson is them deep balls usually land. And they definitely landed 2-3 of them bad boys against the Commanders defense that started off very, very slow. I mean, of course, the Commanders defense were top 3 in the league last year. They showed that in the second half, continued to dominate. And I mean, yeah, what are we talking about? This is definitely inflated. The Broncos defense alone is top notch by itself. And And like I said, we didn't even see a terrible Russell Wilson last week. We just saw one bad half. And like I said, it's week 2. They're still trying to find themselves. I expect a bounce back week. And yeah, I would definitely play that 6.5. I feel like this is totally inflated.
Yeah, that number is way too wrong. So let's move on to the Patriots and Jets. Patriots are 2.5 road favorites. And dude, we know we don't like playing road favorites, but come on now. Come on now. Mac Jones has actually been a solid quarterback this year. I know they're laying 2.5 on the road, but this Jets defense, I'm going to say it, they haven't been all that. I'm sorry. The Jets defense has not been all that. Plain and simple. They got Zach Wilson as the quarterback. That should be enough. But I mean, if we really want to dig into this a little bit more, okay, the Jets beat the Bills the first game of the season. Okay, we're not going to act like the Cowboys did just drop 30 on them. The Cowboys dropped 30 on the Jets. This Jets defense, as good as they claim to be, should not be letting up 30 points. Did Breece Hall only have 4 touches? Yes. Does there seem to be a little bit of a dilemma between the coaches and the players? Maybe. You had Sauce Gardner delete his Twitter/X account. You had Breece Hall make a tweet of 4 footballs showing that's how many times he touched the ball last game. I mean, that's immaturity in the locker room, and that does nothing besides tear a team down. And I hear you laughing. It's making me laugh because it does sound crazy, but like
that shit's crazy.
That's nuts. Like, how do you pick up steam going into the next game? I mean, we're not going to sit and act like the Patriots are scrubs. They're not. This team is capable. Like, Mac Jones has actually looked like a solidified quarterback this year. And to say that they couldn't cover this number on the road, I mean, it's crazy. I just don't see. We got Bill Belichick, who maybe he's a little bit past his time. Maybe his play style is a little bit outdated. But realistically, this team is not that bad. And the Jets defense, okay, they're so damn good, but they let up 30 points. I mean, how do we not take the Patriots in the spot?
Well, I'm just glad you learned your lesson and stop picking the goddamn Jets.
From last year. F-A-D-E, the J-E-T-S from now on, man.
Yes, indeed, bro. And we talked about this last year. Fade the Jets. And you know what's crazy? The only difference was the quarterback was finally Aaron Rodgers, and that lasted 4 plays. It's right back to the same exact situation, the same exact game, the same exact masterclass we had last year when a motherfucker only scored a punt return. That was the only touchdown in the goddamn game. Now, the difference is this year is Mac Jones now has an offensive coordinator. Thank you, Bill Belichick, for doing the obvious. Get him offensive coordinator. He does look more. He doesn't look great. He looks decent, but there's moments where he shows that he's definitely capable. Like I said, in back-to-back drives before the half against the Eagles, he looked really good. But yeah, this Jets team has no traction. Like I said, it's literally the same exact offense as last year. And then you add some Aaron Rodgers targets that probably won't mean nothing because Zach Wilson's at quarterback. Yeah, you best believe I'm taking that -2.5 against with New England.
Yeah, the Jets have to either go trade for somebody and stop acting like Zach Wilson's the man because he's not, or I don't know. I mean, if Zach Wilson's going to be a quarterback, I'm sorry to say, but they're punting this season. They're punting.
Let me put it like this. If you're in real quick, if you're in this situation, who would you get?
I'm calling the Buccaneers to try to get Jameis.
Ooh.
I mean, how do you the Saints? I mean the Saints. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
gosh, throwback. I'm calling the Saints to see if they have Jameis available because obviously they signed Derek Carr. So, I mean, it's not like he's the man. That's definitely an option. As someone who's going to be able to make those throws downfield, I mean, we're not going to sit here and act like Jameis didn't come out and fire that damn ball. Now, granted, he can turn the ball over, but the problem with the Jets is they can't score. Jameis might score, but he might throw a 70-yard touchdown, and then he might throw an interception the next drive. But he's going to put points up on the board. I mean, it's simple as that. That's what they need. If this defense is as good as they say they are, then they need points. They're not getting points out of Zach Wilson.
Well, I say, what the fuck's the difference? Zach Wilson is throwing fucking 2 to 3 picks any goddamn way. You might as well get the fucking yards to come with it. I mean, honestly.
I mean, give Dallas a call, man. Like, hey, Cooper Rush available. Hey, Trey Lance available. Like, I mean, come on now. Anybody but Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has had his chances. I know you spent the draft capital to get him, but if the 49ers can ever so easily give up on Trey Lance without truly giving him a shot, why are we giving Zach Wilson multiple chances to show the same results? That's all I'm going to say.
The only thing I like about Zach Wilson is that Jordan headband. That's the only thing I like about I said Russell Wilson. About Zach Wilson's that damn headband. That headband tough.
These damn Wilsons, man. Moving on to a little AFC South duel. We've got the Houston Texans traveling to Jacksonville. Jacksonville coming off a touchdownless game versus the Chiefs defense. The Texans are 9.5 point road dogs.
Ooh.
Oh my God! Why do they keep doing to us?
Yeah, I said,
why do they keep doing it to us, man? I know. The Texans didn't cover week 1, and they were basically a pick 'em last week. They did versus the Colts and didn't cover. But come on, they're doing it. We have to. Who are the Jaguars to lay 9.5 points right now? Who are they? CJ Stroud just threw for like 360, 380 yards, whatever the hell it was. I didn't
even know that was that much.
Dude, like D'Amico Ryans, like come on, man. Like, why, dude? I'm hoping we find other games that I don't have to force my way into this because it's not pretty. But 9.5 points in a divisional matchup. Come on. Yeah, CJ Stroud, 384 yards.
God,
come on. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. This team can score. They put up, I know they put up 20 points, but like Nico Collins, 7 receptions for 146. Robert Woods, 6 receptions for 74 yards. Like, this team has the opportunity to put up multiple touchdowns every game. And I think now I will say the one thing that is kind of making me hesitate is that CJ Stroud last week had that shoulder thing going on. And he was kind of a last minute, like, do we want to throw him out there? Okay, he feels good enough. We'll throw him out there. That is one thing that's making me hesitate from just saying we're putting this shit in the contest. So that is a little bit of positive news that we're not guaranteed to have them in here because I don't want to force him in if he's still dealing with that bum shoulder. But dude, if we had to take a side, man, like, I'm sorry, I don't know who the Jags covered 10 points against right now.
They what's funny? Funny? They keep themselves in close games. They literally keep themselves in close games. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure at one point the Jags last week had 1st and goal on the 1 yard line and didn't get a touchdown.
Literally, and got 3 points. It was they had
that can't happen.
Points. That was I think it was a big point in the game. They could have gone up. I think make it a 1-possession game, be down by 3, and instead they settled for 3 and end up being down by 8. They ended up having to force it. Yes, yeah. No, you're right. You're 100% right.
A team that's struggling in the red zone, I'm sorry, I can't lay 9.5 points with them. That's all I can really say.
All righty.
Do you have anything that you want to hit on before we move on?
No.
He said no.
No.
I think I gave enough passion in that one for the both of us. Okay, back-to-back games where it's yelling at me. The Titans 3.5 road dogs versus the Browns. Okay.
Boy.
Kareem Hunt's back in town. Whoop-de-doo. You know who's still the quarterback? And I hate to say this, but I'm folding my cards. If we were playing poker, I would have folded already. The Browns, listen, their defense is disgusting. They're so good. I can't get over it. I will say, the only thing that makes me nervous about just clicking the Titans and obviously playing them in the contest because Mike Vrabel is a dog and we're not taking advantage of it is, did you know that the Browns defense has not let a team run a play in the red zone this year?
Whoa, hold on. Where?
Yes.
Real shit? No, real shit. I'm honestly surprised. Like, really, dead ass.
This Browns defense has not had a defensive play in the red zone this year.
Ooh.
The Steelers did not make it to the red zone. The only touchdown they scored was that deep 70-yard touchdown to Pickens and that pick 6. Other than that, it was field goals.
Right, and they played. Yeah, and then they flat out just destroyed.
And then Cincy. Joe Burrow did not even get close to a touchdown. So this defense is the real deal. Like, obviously, this was one of the big things that I've hit on earlier in the week when we were making our preview for the divisional. I said I really like this Browns defense just because. This Browns team because of their defense. Their offense still looks really bad.
Literally.
So, just looking at this now, why is this 3.5, Dynell? Why are the Titans plus 3.5? Please tell me.
I can't tell you shit. I can't understand this my goddamn self. Like I said, I get it. That perspective right there, I guess that's what Vegas sees, because I guess the Titans they would say the Titans would be struggling to get into the red zone, and their key point is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry would be the reason why. And like I said, if you can stop Derrick Henry, you can kind of stop the offense. But yeah, the Browns hasn't let anybody in the red zone, but they have not faced a running back like Derrick Henry at all this year either. They played against the Steelers with Najee Harris. We're not going to compare that fucking running game to to the Titans running game whatsoever. We're not gonna get into that. And then they face the Cincinnati Bengals, and we all know they ain't running the ball. We know they ain't running the ball. That shit. Rain, snow, sleet, shit. It can be a fucking tornado outside 20 miles away. They're throwing that bitch. Wind tortilla and all. Like, honestly. So this is a different type ball game. This is gonna be a different feel. I feel like the defense, like I said, is on a tremendous start. That's very, very nice start. Like I said, not getting nobody in the red zone, not allowing a team to run a play in the end zone is crazy enough. So I give them props for that. But my boy Deshaun, yeah, I'm gonna give you about 2 more weeks, and I'm gonna see how I'm gonna evaluate you. And then if not, man, we might have to call you to the office, man. I'm gonna need to talk to you.
Yeah, this could turn out to be one of the worst trade/contract signings in the history of the NFL.
Still week 2.
I mean, this is up there with Bobby Bonilla and fucking MLB, dude. Like, this is bad.
Well, shit. What about Chris Davis and the Orioles? Even though we are in the postseason race.
Yikes.
Yeah.
We'll get off of that before that gets dark. Anyway, let's move on to a game where I kind of really am struggling with, because we have the Falcons plus 3.5 traveling to Detroit. Detroit obviously coming off that loss. Now, Falcons opened up at 5.5 point underdogs. The Sharps hit that line till it was beat to death, and that dropped all the way to 3.5. So now we're in this weird middle ground where I don't think there's a possibility to play either side for the contest just because of the number. Falcons plus 3.5. I've got the Falcons losing this game by 4. So, there really is no value here anymore. So we're kind of getting the dead number here.
The leftovers. The leftovers.
It's like, okay, we ran through and got all the meat. You guys can eat the crust and the potato. Like, it's like, I don't like anything really about either of these sides. So obviously Desmond Ridder hasn't lost at home in his career, college and the NFL. And now he's heading on the road to
Motor City.
Motor City. We said it last year. Jared Goff at home is scary. He's scary. Do I want to play this Falcons team that doesn't really have a quarterback that can make plays down the field? Not necessarily. And especially with the Lions coming off of a loss to the Seahawks. This is most likely going to be a stay away game from us. Was there anything that you can take out of this?
No, like you said, this is going to be a stay away game for me. This is, like you said, this is kind of like leftovers. I don't want to eat off of somebody else's fucking plate. Plus 3.5, a little too low. Most of the Dan Campbell puts up points, boy, and we all know that. But the big thing I think about this is CJ Gardner-Johnson being out for the season now. That definitely hurts the Lions in that run game, and that's the Falcons' strong point. So I'll give that little pointer. Take it with a grain of salt if you want to. Do what you got to do with it. But yeah, I don't have a set stone at heart play for this yet. Yeah,
I really want to see how this Falcons team competes. This is going to be a very good testament to their defense, just because this Lions team we know can put up points. They have a really scary offense. Let's move on to the Saints and the Packers. Packers 1.5 point favorites at home. This is an interesting one, because these are ones that I've said repetitively that these were my favorites to win their respective division, the Saints in the NFC South and the Packers in the NFC North. So yeah, these are two of our favorite division winners. This is a game there really is no value. We missed the best of number once again, just like the Falcons game. This is one that I'm very interested in watching, though. We have Jordan Love going against a defense that is pretty damn solid, but we have Derek Carr on the other hand that, I want to see how he competes against another playoff potential team in the NFC, I should say. NFC has a little bit weaker teams, but Derek Carr, he didn't look great versus the Panthers. He did make a couple good throws. He gets the thing that I see with the Saints is they get going late. It's like a lawnmower trying to get started up. It takes them a little bit to get going, but once they get going, they can move it a little bit. So obviously Michael Thomas was the focal point of that offense, moved a little slow. They changed their target to Chris Olave in the second half. They started moving the ball. So I really think it's going to be a determination factor of who gets going early, and that's going to determine this game. But we can't sit here and act like Jordan Love hasn't had that dog in him. Dude. Jordan Love has looked good.
Yeah, like I said, this is going to be one of those, like I said, I'm going to be a fan. This is a game where you just be a fan. You enjoy the show, you watch, you maybe throw a prop in there. Hopefully, I guess the big thing for me is Aaron Jones coming back. I want to see this offense back with Aaron Jones. Full potential, go out against the Saints who have been spotty, very, very spotty. And I want to see, I just want to see a good game, good challenge. And then we'll evaluate these teams off this game, man. So this is a big game for these two.
Very, very interesting to see how this team played. Well, in hindsight of how they looked without Aaron Jones. Granted, Jordan Love still played his game, but that running that running attack was not the same
AJ
whatsoever.
Dillon was a disappointment. Yeah, that was a very disappointing.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed with that performance with AJ Dillon.
Let's move on to the good old Washington Commanders. They're hosting the Bills. Bills are 6.5-point road dogs. That number ain't right, dog. That number ain't right, dog.
Come on, pump me up.
Okay, listen. I know a lot. I've seen a lot of people hammer the Bills, but I don't know why. Like,
why, bro?
We have discussed several times on this podcast, when the Bills win, they win big, they cover. When the Bills don't win, it's close. They barely lose. Like, I just don't see a scenario where the Bills blow out this team. I think the Commanders are fundamentally sound. They have very capable receivers. Brian Robinson looked really good this year. He's running really strong behind that line. I'm really impressed by him, I will say. And Sam Howell, for the most part, he's been managing these games pretty well. He's been taking care of the football. He's been hitting the right receiver on his reads. Like, in film, he looks good. He looks like a coachable kid that can progress as a NFL quarterback. I think as long as they stick with him and give him a couple chances, I really think he can progress in this offense. But dude, look what they just did versus the Denver Broncos. They go down early. This offense picks it up, and this isn't against a scrub ass defense. The Broncos defense is probably top 8. Yeah. They have a really good defense with a potentially top 3 corner in the league. A lot of people say Pat Surtain is one of the best corners, if not the best corner in the game right now. I mean, come on now. This Commanders team isn't a slouch. They're 2-0 for a reason. And I know they played the Cardinals, whoop-de-doo, but they played the Broncos, and the Broncos came out hot in the first half. So that just shows adjustments. And let's look at the difference between this Commanders offense and the Chiefs offense. The Chiefs offense looks a little stale. Is that because EB left and went to Washington? It kind of looks like it. EB has that. They have that team. He's got that team on all cylinders right now. He is hitting the right points of contact. He's got everybody involved that needs to be involved. I really like what I'm seeing out of Washington right now.
All right. Now, I'm going to say this, and maybe this might be coming off of a lot of bias and a lot of confidence, because we're 2-0 right now. We're really rolling. But, hey, Vegas, I'm going to take out this $50 bill, and I'm going to match you pussies, because I'll be damned if y'all going to disrespect us like this. Again and again and again. First, you disrespect us with the 6.5 win total. Whoops, you made a fucking mistake there because you changed that already within 2 weeks. You thought we were going to lose against the Denver Broncos plus 3.5. We end up going up. We end up being down by 18 and it end up by 11 on that Broncos defense. That should let you know already as it is how fluent this offense is starting to find itself and this defense. Come on, guys. This defense is second to none. Did you see Daron Payne out there? Daron Payne literally had a 3-and-out by himself. He stopped the run. He batted the ball down. He stopped the run. He, I think, batted the ball down. Then he sacked Russell Wilson. Back-to-back plays. Boom, punt. Boom. Washington gets the ball. Touchdown. Howard McLaurin. Guys, this team is starting to click. You're starting to see it mesh together now. And as far as I'm concerned, you're giving the Bills 6.5. I mean, you're giving the Commanders 6.5 points with a top 3 defense and with probably the most turnover-prone quarterbacks in the league. Get the fuck out of here. You know what? I'm going to let y'all disrespect. I'm going to take that 6.5 and I'm going to take your money like I do every other week. Next.
I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be in the contest for sure.
It's not. It's probably won't.
I think it's safer if we just don't put this in, just because I don't want you to have emotionally, financial, and contest, invested in this. Exactly. But I will say, dude, I think I like the Commanders in the spot a little bit more than the Bills. And I know a lot of people that are on the Bills, and I just don't see why. Like, okay, yeah, they went and beat up on the Raiders, but this Commanders team is light years ahead of the Raiders. And we just saw Josh Allen struggle against the Jets. So, I mean, I think you have one of the best offensive coordinators in the league. He's going to be on his A game scheming for this defense. And this Bills defense, it's vulnerable. It's very vulnerable. You saw it in the first drive versus the Raiders. They went right down there and scored a touchdown. And you kind of saw it versus Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, I mean, yeah, he was getting under pressure, but he was making some big plays on that, the first game of the season. So I don't know. I think this is a letdown spot for the Bills here.
Right.
So, yeah, this will be one that I definitely don't want to take the Bills. If I'm going to take a piece of this pie, I'm going to take a stab at the Commanders. Now, we have an interesting one that we're going to move on to. We have 2 teams that are 0-2. Obviously, Vikings at home versus the Chargers. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're in two very interesting situations. A, if the Chargers lose, do they just say fuck it and fire the coach? B, if the Vikings lose, do they say fuck it and trade Kirk Cousins? But the only reason now I'm starting to get doubts that they might not trade Kirk Cousins is they just traded for Cam Akers today.
Literally.
So is this team all in? I mean, I know they got Justin Jefferson, so like you have probably a top 3, if not the most, or you have a top 3, if not number 1 wide receiver in Justin Jefferson. But like, what do we do here? Like, I'm thinking the play is the Vikings at home. I think but it's hard to say. Like, I don't know. I think if I take a shot here, I'm taking the Vikings. I just don't like what I've seen out of this coaching from the Chargers. What do you got?
So here's what I will do. Yeah, fuck a coin flip. Jared, when's the last time you played Spin the Bottle?
Oh my God. I can't think. You're making me think old.
Do me a favor. Put a piece of paper on both sides. Put the Chargers and Vikings on one side. You spin the bottle. Whatever one it lands on first, you put 20 on. Whatever lands on the other one, you put 10 on. That's dead ass. At this point with these teams, I have no, like, what team do you have more faith in? And I still can't answer that. I honestly still can't answer that.
I think it's the Vikings though. I think Kirk's look good.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Because let me tell you what, I'll handle a quarterback. I'll handle that problem than a fucking coaching problem. So you matter of fact, you know what, Brandon Staley, come here. Because you lost me money last week, dickhead. Let me talk to you.
It's hard to take this game because I think Kirk's playing for his career and Staley's coaching for his career. So I mean, you have two. It's going to be a dogfight. I don't know. I don't know, man. A lot of people are pointing fingers at Justin Herbert. Is he the problem? No, but he is paid to be the solution. So I'm not going to sit here and act like the Chargers are, a dumpster fire, because they're not. They have a lot of talent. But I mean, dude, we've got to start seeing this team string across a couple wins. These were the reason why I wanted to fade the Chargers at the beginning of the year. It's strictly because of their coach. And I think it's coming full circle now.
No doubt.
Let's move on to the Panthers, 5.5 point underdogs traveling to Seattle. I'm going to let you talk about this because I feel like you probably have a better grasp on this than I would.
I guess kind of like my biggest thing is I'm starting to see Bryce Young come into his motion a little bit. He definitely struggled again the other night, but he's definitely starting to come around. Definitely with that last drive, as you saw there late. I don't think it's enough. The Seahawks team knows how to put up points. Panthers defense has definitely been playing good defense. They played enough good defense to hang around with the Saints last week, but that Saints offense once again is very, very spotty. I just kind of see the Seattle Seahawks offense having way more potential. I can see Geno Smith throwing the ball around the field, especially with J.C. Horn out still. 5.5. I mean, it's in Seattle. You're having a rookie quarterback going into Seattle is definitely tough. If I had to pick one, I would lean more Seattle minus 5.5.
Yeah, I think you just have to take the team with a little bit more experience. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Panthers, weird penalties. They're just, I don't know, man. They don't convert on third down. It feels like
offense not explosive. There's no explosion.
That's what the word. You took the words right out of my mouth. The offense is not explosive, and you have to be explosive to keep up with the Seahawks, and that's why the Lions was such a good game, because you have two teams that they're vertical. They're very vertical. Carolina is very horizontal. They're left to right. It's Thielen for 5 yards, DJ Chark for 3. Like it's not like they're not going to beat you over the top. They lost that in the offseason with DJ Moore. DJ Moore's gone. They don't have an over the top threat. So, with that being said, if we take a side here, I do like the Seahawks. I think the number is it's just not right.
Yeah, it's right. There you go. It's
just not right. So we'll have to dig into that a little bit more. But let's move on to the Bears and the Chiefs. Oh my God, dude.
Well, you love points. I know you love points.
Bears are plus 12.5. Like, gosh, there will be one thing that could keep me off this game, and it's the points being 12.5 and not 13.5 or 13. Dude,
right.
There's so much animosity in this locker room for the Bears. You see the Justin Fields make that comment of like he feels very robotic, like he doesn't like how the offense is playing. He's not able to be his like freelance self in a way. The Chiefs looked, the offense looked rough, but we have to realize that there's Patrick Mahomes back there. So like, how much can you actually take that and run with it, dude? I don't know. Like, dude. I mean, you can't lay 12.5 with the Chiefs, can you?
Nah, not from what you've seen these past couple of weeks. You can't.
Look, he scored 12.5 points.
I mean, like, and I get it. Like, this will be like, it's scary because this would be the bounce back week. I mean,
it would be, right?
The Chicago Bears defense gives up the most plays after the catch out of everybody in the team. I think they give up they average 6.4 yards after the catch given up on defense. So that's definitely, that's tough as it is. I don't know, bro. I know you like the points, man, but I don't know. I really don't know. This is definitely a tough one.
I mean, this does yell a Chiefs get right spot.
Right.
I mean, it's at home. The Bears have looked like shit on offense. I mean, maybe the freaking Chiefs just put up 40 points of their own. Like, I think maybe the safer book play is probably just the over, honestly.
Or Travis Kelce 2 touchdowns at this point.
Yeah, like I think
right,
Travis Kelce has to get going this game.
Right.
He just has to. Like the Bears linebackers they're so weak right now, and the secondary is like JV. Dude, their secondary is so bad. So, we got Kadarius Toney, who he didn't practice today, but I mean, obviously he hasn't been. I mean, he was 5 for 5. He had 5 targets and 5 catches. He did have that fumble, but thank God he jumped back on. But it's just, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like this is a game where someone steps up and fills that role. Is it Watson? Is it
I like Sky Moore.
Sky Moore, Sky Moore. That's who I was drawing a blank on. Is that who we see 100-yard 2-touchdown game from?
Right.
I don't know. This would be the game. So honestly, I'm so happy that this number's sitting at 12.5 and not 13. Because if it was 13, I would have had to play it. A touchdown and 2 field goals. Like it's just that's such a high spread for the NFL. But I'll probably end up staying off. It just God. I mean, it's just I'm gonna be sick when the Bears are sitting there going into overtime versus the Chiefs, and it's like 30-30, like something stupid. Like neither teams can get a stop. But regardless,
wait till Sunday. Wait till Sunday at 1:00.
Yeah, these are two teams that need to click offensively, and that's why I think this is such an over game. But we'll see. We'll have to dig into this a little bit more. So let's move on to the team that's inflated beyond the American economic system right now. That is the Dallas Cowboys. 11.5 road favorites. Come on now. Who the hell's clicking that goddamn button? Not me. Not me. What are we talking about? The Cardinals have had opportunities to win 2 games so far. They potentially should be 2-0, and they're going against another NFC East team. What's the trend? They go up early on the Commanders, throw the game. They go up a lot on the Giants, throw the game. Dude, call me crazy. Cardinals might go up 10-0 on this damn team.
That's the trend, and they're all NFC East teams. They're out for the hunt, boy. They want them NFC East teams bad.
Yeah, and okay, I know the Cowboys defense looks good, blah blah blah, but like, dude, it's just this Cardinals team shouldn't be taking a 2-possession lead on anybody. And I don't know, dude. 11.5 road favorite. That's a huge number. That is a huge number for a team that has so many opportunities to backdoor you. I mean, there's no way we can play the Cowboys, right?
No, not at all. And for everybody that says, oh, well, the Cowboys, they played big numbers in the Cowboys the last 2 weeks and they covered. So what? Tell me, cry me a river. I mean, what do you expect me? Once again, like I said, I've seen a Cardinals team who has been competitive. And you know what's crazy? I made that same mistake last week. Sometimes when you think about it, it's like, oh, man, this is too free. How do you not take this? -5.5 against a weak team. The Cardinals are making a statement. They might be a weak team, but they're going to be competitive in the process. And they're not going to give up just to anybody. They're oddly enough, their offense seems to be more competitive than the Jets' offense. So you got something there. And it's something to build on. This Cardinals team is looking for something to build on. It's rough. New coach. Kyler Murray's out. I think Buda Baker just been ruled out now a little bit. But at the end of the day, this defense goes out there. They show up in the first half. They definitely take it to them. They're going to be at home. I'm telling you, I'm not saying Dallas is going to lose this game, but be prepared for a big spread letdown when it comes to it.
I mean, it's almost like the Cardinals are going up in these games and like showing you like we can win this game if we want to, but we don't want to. We have draft picks that we're anticipating getting in the first, second, third pick, somewhere around there. There's no way I can, dude. I mean, there's no way I could lay that big of a number as a road favorite. Now, if the Cowboys were at home, then it talks to me a little bit differently. But 11.5 on the road, I just can't do it. I mean, if anything, you just don't play anything in this game. It's just that number is just too damn high. And I'm pretty sure this number opened at like 12 or some shit. But this number definitely, it was 12.5. It got bet down a little bit. So We're sitting at 11.5 right now. So obviously people have used their senses and came on the Cardinals because that number is so big, but that's just not something you can lay like that. First of all, 11.5, that's such a dead number anyway. But yeah, so not interested in the Cowboys. We'll dig into the Cardinals a little bit more, but like Dynell said, there's two, like Buda Baker missing kind of hurts, and we'll see what we end up wanting to do. It's not pretty, but we don't do pretty shit on this podcast. We got the Steelers coming off of a great performance facing the Raiders. The Steelers are 2.5 road underdogs. This is a tough one because my gut says you take the Steelers here, but I don't know, man. Like this is definitely one I gotta look at a little bit more because this one almost feels too easy to take the Steelers.
Yeah.
Am I missing something? Like the Raiders just struggled to move the ball on the Bills defense. I think the Steelers defense is about the same, if not a little bit better. The only thing that concerns me is the Minkah Fitzpatrick injury.
Yeah.
He is kind of the leader besides TJ Watt. He's kind of the glue of that secondary. I think that's why I'm a little bit hesitant to just kind of click and ship on the Steelers. This Minkah Fitzpatrick kind of wants you to stray away from the Steelers here and take the Raiders, or are you kind of like, how are you feeling about this?
I would say this. Nothing would ever lean for me to take the Raiders. But what I will say is Minkah Fitzpatrick would definitely make me second guess on taking that 2.5. Honestly, here's what I'm going to say, because Vegas is very, very slick. I feel like this is one of those bait games. You throw the bait out there, who's going to take it? Am I going to snag you up? I'm going to snag your money. I'm going to snag your money. I mean, I would love to take the Steelers plus 2.5 here, but here's what I will say about the Raiders. If the defense can hold the opposing team to 17 points, they got a chance. And with this Steelers offense, it's not clicking. It's not clicking on all cylinders. I think what was it? Monday Night Football? They played against the Browns and they scored 2 defensive touchdowns to win that game. And
it was just one.
No, it was. It's a fumble 6 to TJ Watt. I remember this. It was fumble 6 to TJ Watt.
And then the pick 6.
And Alex Highsmith got a pick 6 to start the game. They scored 14 points off of defense, and then one of the offensive touchdowns they had was a fucking quick slant to Pickens, and Pickens was gone for a touchdown. Like
it took it to the house.
Yeah, this like y'all know me. You know us. Anti-Raiders podcast. Josh McDaniels fucking sucks. I get it. Yeah, but I'm not dumb either. All right, this is definitely one of those little setup games, and this Steelers offense got to show me they can put up more than 14 to 17 points to show that they can cover this spread. 14 to 17 points to prove to me that I can even play late, even give them points to cover a spread.
Yeah, I think that's why I was so hesitant to just kind of click that button, because it does seem like a weird spot for the Steelers. So would I be surprised if the Raiders come out here and just blow the brakes off the Steelers? Honestly, no. Like this does kind of seem like a get right spot for the Raiders, but I mean, I can't do it. I can't put my sanity on the Raiders. So this will most likely be a stay off game. If we find some different information on this, maybe we'll approach it differently. But as of right now, I think this will be one of the ones that Dynell and I just kind of take a back seat to. Now we're moving on to a game where I've got a little bit of interesting take on it.
Right. Let me know.
So this is the Monday night matchup. The Eagles are traveling to Tampa to face the Buccaneers. And this number dropped from 6.5 to 4.5, and very simply because of the Eagles secondary. This Eagles secondary is beyond vulnerable right now. We just have Mike Evans go for Mike Evans, I think he just went for like 164 in week 2. Like something absurd. You have Chris Godwin. Like this team has, this would be the Achilles heel of the Eagles right now is the deep ball, because Baker Mayfield's throwing it. He is throwing it. That's one thing. We know Baker Mayfield, he's going to throw the ball. It's just, are they going to go get it? Gosh, the secondary is just, this is not an ideal matchup. I will be honest. This is not a spot where I'd play Eagles and Survivor. Would I be shocked if the Eagles come out here and lay an egg? No. This Buccaneers defense has kind of stepped up to the plate, and they've shown that they can win this division. And that's what's the most nerve-wracking thing for me. Like, this Buccaneers team looks good. And I will say, the Eagles went out there and they went on the road and beat the Patriots. And then, they found their footing versus the Vikings, and they made a lot of defensive plays, but the Vikings fumbled like 3 or 4 times. So, if you take those back, they could have easily lost to the Vikings. And then we've got the Buccaneers team where they have a really, really good defense, and they have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the outside versus shaky secondary. This is just a recipe for disaster. Should the Eagles win this game? Yes. Will the Eagles win this game? Oh my God. This could get this could be a disappointing. This could be a disappointing spot for the Eagles.
And that's what, you know, it's crazy, bro. This is why I really fuck with you, because this is like, we kind of have the same take in this regards. But coming from an Eagles fan, I am so glad to hear you say that, because at the end of the day, like this team is like, this is a matchup. I think this is a matchup nightmare for the Eagles in a way. Like this is one of those things where, like you said, it opened up at what, 6.5? You said, right?
Yeah.
And right, I think currently, right, what is the line now?
4.5.
4.5. So you already know where the money went to. The money went to Tampa. I mean, the money did go to Tampa Bay. They slammed that shit back down because they realized, damn, you know, this defense is really, really good. The matchups on the outside is going to be a mismatch nightmare. Granted, Slay's out there, but no Bradbury, no Avonte Maddox, correct? Because Avonte Maddox is hurt now. Am I right?
Yeah, he's got the torn pec. He's getting the second decision on, but he's mostly going to be out for a while.
Right. And yeah, we got Reed Blankenship, but he's an up and comer, so he still has a lot to learn. That secondary is definitely going to have a challenge on their hands. And I think the biggest X factor is, as long as the Eagles can just keep the running game at bay, which they usually do, they will be okay. They'll be fine. But like you said, man, this can be a recipe for disaster as matchups wise. The guys on the outside are definitely talented. Baker Mayfield can throw the ball, and kudos to him, because I want to dispel one pet peeve of mine real quick. Those little training camp clip shits where they be throwing interceptions during training camp and shit. Stop using that to rate the fucking quarterbacks. Please. Can we stop doing that? Rating Dak Prescott because he threw picks in fucking practice. You're supposed to throw picks in fucking practice. That's what practice is for, to take those shots and try them out. But I'm glad Baker Mayfield came out here. He's 2-0 right now, and he's leading this Buccaneers team. And honestly, I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier right now.
Yeah, this is just a spot where I think the Bucs cover, just for the simple fact that the Eagles thrive against teams that want to run the ball first.
Right.
The Buccaneers are not that team. And it's as simple as that. You are going against a team that is against the game plan. So if for those of you who got the Buccaneers at 6, kudos to you, man, because that's a great number. I will not be touching the Eagles this week in anything. And let's finish off with a game where it's really going to depend on who plays, who's healthy, and what the hell are we going to do? Because we have the Rams traveling to Cincinnati. The Rams opened up as 6.5-point underdogs. They have dropped all the way to 2.5 because I believe the speculation is Burrow might not even play. This is an interesting spot because the Rams have looked good. Obviously, they covered versus the Niners in that late last second field goal, but they always had an opportunity to stay in the game. And, you know, they went out there and beat the Seahawks in week 1. So, I mean, these are Sean McVay spots, these prime time, extra day to prepare, you know, going on the road. This screams a Sean McVay spot. And that's why this number drops so quickly, and especially with the Joe Burrow news. Now, there is one kind of thing that makes me want to almost just take the value. If Joe Burrow plays, it's almost like a have to win game, and we're getting him under a field goal. It kind of feels, because in the contest, the lines don't change. So if Joe Burrow gets ruled in, it's going to be hard not to consider this as a contest play, just because we're getting so much value on the line, because it was 6.5 and now down to 2.5, and it crossed several key numbers. It crossed the 6 and the 4 and the 3. So will this be a contest decision? You know, maybe last one in when we make our picks Friday. If Burrow plays, yes. There is no value in this number if Burrow doesn't play. The line has already dropped. We're not getting the 6.5, 6, whatever it was. So if Burrow is out, this will most likely be a stay away. If he's in, I think I can speak for Dynell and I. This will most likely be considered.
Yeah, most certainly. Like I said, and for this Bengals team to bounce back, this has to be the week you bounce. I mean, you bounce back if Joe Burrow plays. Like I said, the Bengals are definitely susceptible in this game. They're definitely susceptible to, like I said, the Rams receivers. I mean, who would have fucking thought with Cooper Kupp being now? You thought they would struggle, but like you said, that man, Matthew Stafford, he finds some receivers either way, man. And this Cincinnati defense isn't really all that strong either. And especially when the offense struggles and they go those 3-and-outs and quick drives, that only makes that defense even more tired. They're definitely susceptible. So like I said, I would stay away from this game, but you best believe if Smoking Joe is playing, he's going to go out there, and I'm definitely going to lay that -2.5.
Yeah, so I think we're just going to take a stab at the Bengals if Joe Burrow does play. But, you know, there's a lot of spots that we have to kind of review before we make our official picks for the contest. So, you know, obviously, for those of you who got better lines, and bet early, kudos to you. But this is a week where we're going to really have to wait for injury news. We're kind of getting to the 3rd, 4th week where some of these teams are getting banged up. They're a little bit different from the first week, but we're going to do what we do every week. We're going to grab our shovels. We're going to start digging, and we're going to find some good spots. These things kind of come to us later in the week. And, for those of you who listened last week on the preview show, you kind of saw how we were really on edge about a lot of these teams. But then we kind of came out with the picks and we felt really good. So I will say last week we felt really good. We looked at it a lot. And I think the more we look at it, the more we make it make sense. We'll find some good spots. So we do have a couple games we have our finger on, but we're going to solidify all those Friday night. So you can expect that episode Friday night, Saturday morning for the official contest picks. Make sure, in case all those picks are subject to change, please follow us on Twitter at @shredthespread_, just in case we give you guys picks on Friday and then Sunday morning something happens and we do change it. So that it would be your best bet to stay up to date. Other than that, I think Dynell and I are going to start preparing for this Thursday night game, and then we're going to get right into it for the contest picks. So this is another tough week. A lot of big spreads. We got to avoid these traps, but we're going to do what we do best. We're going to give you guys some winners. So 5 picks on Friday. So anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Oh no, man. Let's just keep on grinding, man. So far, so good. Let's keep it going.
It's a long season, fellas. You just got to strap in and enjoy the ride. That's all I can say. But this has been the Week 3 preview for the NFL on the Shred the Spread podcast. And as always, thanks for listening. And until next time, we'll see you.
Peace.